In this video, I'll predict the new meta for level 25 PvP, with the abilities coming with the new rune system for Season of Discovery. Starting today with the free core physical DPS classes, Warrior, Rogue and Hunter. Welcome to Classic Plus, where I will be discussing every aspect of Season of Discovery. So will the new meta be completely broken? Let's dive into it, starting with Warrior. Okay, so while Warriors are considered the king of vanilla in level 25, they are very much bottom tier, as they have not a lot of utility and they don't have the scaling or gear that's required to make Warrior the beast that they can be later. With a full blue set and a decent weapon, it might be just okay. They get Warbringer, which means they will get charge every 15 seconds. This will be pretty nutty later on when they have charge every 15 seconds and intercept every 30 seconds. Which can remove all slow and roots effects, as well as charge in combat. So that's really strong. For their mobility, we'll probably want to go into the arms tree to pick up Proved Heroic Strike, just because that they don't have many abilities to use their rage on, otherwise they don't have Mortal Strike. Proved Rage, Charge, as they will use charge a lot in combat. Get that rage, which they don't have enough of already. Tactical Mastery to swap into D-Stance, Battle Stance to Overpower. Overpower is one of the things they do have, and this is one of the strongest talents they can get at this level. The rest they'll just probably want to take some crit, which is really good. And yeah, therefore the biggest options are, of course, Victory Rush is strong. If you can consistently kill people, kill something. Otherwise, Endless Rage is also pretty good. As Rage, you're pretty rage starved as a warrior. Then you're gonna run Frenzied Assault because you won't have enough rage to get access to consumed by rage in PvP and this level, most likely. Yeah. Other than that, I mean, you need to know that you will have access to Execute, which is good. Intimidating Shout is good. Retaliation has a big cooldown. You have Disarm, and you have Shield Bash in D-Stance. Those are good. Overpower is really good. And you have Hamstring, so you can kite and slow. Yeah, and obviously don't have Immortal Strike. Fury won't be something, as you can't get Death Wish or Bloodthirst, and or even Enrage. It simply doesn't work without that. Yeah, Overpower is stronger than what you can get over there. Alternatively, you would go Single-Minded Fury, which would give you a little bit of speed and damage. Yeah, it's not super good, but I think it's a little bit worse than what you have available as arms. The dark horse would be to go prod, because you'll be sitting a lot in D-Stance to Shield Bash anyway. Then you can go Devastate. So every Sunder you do will, do 100 weapon damage and 10% more every time you Sunder, and you'll remove the armor. It's pretty solid build. You can go with that. So let's look at the tier list here. Our first placements. Start with arms. It could be somewhere B and C. I think it's not going to be very good. I think Prot might be slightly ahead of it, and I think Fury is going to be not really viable. Rogues, one of the most beloved and hated classes, depending if you played them or had to be abused by them. Rogues consistently perform in all levels, and have historically at any level bracket, as Twinks at any level, almost, and at high level as well. Their main issues at level 25 is they don't have Cheap Shot yet. Comes in 26, so that's a bummer. And no Kidney Shot, no Blind, and no access to Prep, of course, or Cold Blood, or Adrenaline Rush, or anything like that. So that sounds pretty bad at first glance, until you see that at level 25 we probably will be able to find this between the eyes stun, which will both deal respectable damage and do a 5-second stun. Really, really good. 20 yards, I believe. That's certainly the retail version. So that's going to cover all of our problems for, you know, lack of stuns and range gap closers. Yeah, really big. For PvP, Shiv is going to be huge, as we can proc our crippling guaranteed, especially on somebody like mages who will just get away otherwise instantly. Or, yeah, Shadow Strike's not going to be, I mean, amazing. I mean, it's going to be nice enough, but Shiv is going to be big to give up, and that's why Mutilate won't be super viable in PvP, because you have to wait for poison procs, and you'll want to use Shiv to get that, so that's a bit contradictory here for PvP. And then Slaughter from the Shadows this is where the juice is made. Backstab is going to be busters, and this is like the Wrath sub-spec critical talent here that makes backstabs basically cost well, 40 energy, so basically almost like a hemorrhage. So you're going to be able to spam backstabs as long as you can get behind the target, which should be crippled, so that should be possible. If you can't, then you can gouge and do it, or stun and do it. So yeah, many options there, should be viable. You will want to go into Improved Gouge for that, so you can get more energy back when you gouge as you wait. Just take Improved Sinister Strike, as you may be forced to pop a Sinister Strike here and there because you won't have Hemorrhage at this level. Improved Backstab is going to be really good, and then you want Opportunity, so you get a lot of bonuses for your backstabs here. And then you're going to take a couple points in Camouflage, I think, because otherwise you're going to be incredibly slow. It's one of the issues at lower level for rogues is their stealth level is pretty low, which makes it quite slow, so this is going to help significantly, not feeling like you're walking at absolutely snail's pace in stealth. This is going to be the meta. The only deviation from this I can see is the swashbuckling saber slash combat spec, where you have quick draw to slow at range to gap close, and of course your stun as well, so that's nice, doing decent damage on range, because you won't need Slaughter for the Shadows. Quick draw is a good talent. And then you become a bit more of a warrior, but probably a little slightly better warrior at this level, because you have utility, you have you still have evasion, you have sprint, you have vanish, you have crippling poison, you have kick. Warriors don't even have pummel yet, so they have to weapon swap. It's annoying. You're gonna go for riposte. It's gonna be really good. And then you won't need backstab. You'll get something like this. You probably want to make sure you have enough hit, and if you have 5 hit, you can probably want to put them into crit from gear, if you have hit from gear. Yeah, other than that, that rogue is super strong already, and it's getting stronger. Maybe not relatively stronger to all classes, but to some classes it's getting a significant utility and damage buff as well, especially in PvP. So let's look at the tier lists here. Sub Rogue is going straight into top tier, and combat is probably B a tier, and assassination is probably not very good, as you can't get enough talents. Improved proc chance for poisons, it can be a bit unreliable. Hunters get some much needed significant buffs. I mean, they're less needed at level 25 than they are at max level, so they're gonna be hunters are top dogs next to rogues at low level because of their unmatched speed and mobility and range and damage that doesn't scale so well, but is pretty good at low level. And they will get additional damage here at low level. What's going to probably be best is 5 crit and 25% reduced mana cost on all shots. Pretty good, because you're going to be spamming a lot of Chimera shot. Instant shot damage is really good. More damage with Serpent Sting. Viper Sting you won't have access to yet. The Scorpion Sting will be really good for any rogue warrior that want to charge you. You're just going to get some damage off and Scorpion Sting them. Chimera shot them, let them get into melee. Then you wing clip them and run away again, because you can't feign that. But they won't be able to do much to you, as they're disarmed. Yep. And then sniper training, really good if you can be a night elf and stand in stealth and wait for your opponent. If you're not so good at, you know, camping out, then kill command is going to be probably good, as you likely want to keep your pet at low level. It deals decent damage. It doesn't scale well, so at higher level you might want to consider going lone wolf and just going full on ranged attack and sniper training. Yeah, talents wise, you have really good talents with a stun proc, lethal shots for crit, extra range, aim shots huge, and a couple into additional damage here. Survival is only going to be a thing if you're in mass group combat and you really want to get your slow traps out to help your raid or big group and not being charged into and kite the enemy a lot. You get a bit of stamina as well for that, and deterrence, which is decent, not very good. And Beastmaster is going to be okay. But I think the big play is going to be Marksman, because, I mean, the pet is vulnerable, especially if there's combat with more than one person. But you can get a very tanky pet that you can summon pretty fast. So, yeah, that's a thing you could do. Does 20% more damage, it's faster. Keep in mind you don't have, you don't have Feint Dead, you don't have Flare, you don't have Scatter, you don't have Viper Sting. You trade all that utility for just damage, being one of the biggest damage dealers, and being ranged on top of that, which is pretty nice. And yeah, let's put them in to the tier sheet. This completes the first round of physical DPS tier list placements. Next we will deep dive and add all the hybrid physical DPS specs, Druid, Paladin, Shaman, which all look absolutely wild. Subscribe to stay tuned for my next video, and thank you for watching.